Hi there, I'm Nikita and welcome to another video on my channel after a long break of 6 months. I know it's been a really long time, but as I posted a few days ago on my story that I decided to focus on my PhD, and I know there have been phases for me where I wanted to completely stop YouTube and focus fully on my PhD, but then there were some phases where I wanted to do YouTube because that was helping me release the stress, and it is a hobby that I really enjoy. So I was stopping making videos, I was resuming again, and then I stopped again, and then it took a long period of 6 months. But I'm glad that I'm back again. And as I promised you guys recently that I will be making a Q&A video, this video is that Q&A video, but I believe that it will not be the only Q&A for the next few days because I have received a lot of questions on my community post as well as on my stories. And in this video, I have decided to keep my laptop right here next to me and take the questions that you guys have posted me on my community. I will answer them one after the other, and I hope that you are satisfied with your answer. And if this is not your question, then you can write me your question, your doubts, or queries in the comment section below. The very first question is how many years it takes to finish a PhD, especially the one you are doing. This is the first part. It takes usually 4 to 6 years, but it depends on the field in which you're doing a PhD, that is chemistry, biology, mathematics, physics, or computer science, and the others. And the one I'm doing is basically, it depends also on the university. My university allows PhD students who are doing PhD in computer science. So I am only aware about computer science because I am doing PhD in computer science. My university allows computer science PhD students to finish their PhDs anytime between 4 to 6 years of time period. And this 4 years is a time period where you can finish your PhD also in 2-3 years if you are quick enough. And if you are not able to finish your PhD in 4 years, then if you are a special case, you are eligible for an extension of a PhD for 2 more years. So you can extend your 4 years time period to 2 more years if there is a special case. And one of the example of special case is me. For example, I am doing my PhD, but in parallel to my PhD, I am helping my professor with some lecture activities. So I am taking the exercise for the lecture, and that is defined as Lehrstuhlaktivitäten. This means that I am involved in parallel to my PhD in some departmental activities, including lectures. So I am eligible to extend my PhD from 4 years to 6 years. The second part of this question is, can you please tell in which subject you are pursuing PhD and from which university? I already told it. I am pursuing my PhD in computer science in the field of safety of autonomous vehicles, to be very, very abstract. And I'm pursuing it from the university which is my alma mater. I am doing it from Technical University of Kaiserslautern. The next question is, how can I go study in Germany after my 12th from a CBSE oriented school? Love your videos. Love you too. So if you have finished your schooling, irrespective of whatever board, like CBSE or ICSE or state board, I believe the right process is to apply for a Studienkolleg, I believe, so student college. This is because the schools in Germany, they are up to 12th class, and then there is a 13th class in which you do your Abitur. And this is not the case for any school in India, be it whichever this board exam you have done to pass your 12th exam. So you have to register for Studienkolleg, and then you have to go through that for 1 year, and then you take an exam. And then once you've taken the exam, and if you are then eligible to apply for colleges or universities, you can do that. As I said, I am not very much into this Studienkolleg, student college thing, but what I can do is I can research and probably in future make a video only about it so that you are informed about what you can do or what you should be doing if you want to apply for bachelor's in Germany directly after 12th. Next is, when we are in dependent visa in Germany, what's the procedure to study masters? I believe it's a very simple procedure. Once you are in Germany, you just apply what you want to study. Again, if you are just school pass and you haven't done your bachelor's, you have to go through Studienkolleg. If you have done your bachelor's and if you want to apply for master's, then I believe it's a very simple process as anybody would apply for master's. You anyway have a plus point of having a visa in Germany. So you just need not to worry for visa, but apply for any kind of master's that you want to study, whichever field you want to choose, whichever specialization there is in a university, and then wait for the application to be processed. If I, my apologies if my breath is sounding too odd or I'm sounding out of breath. I believe that since I haven't made a video since a very long time, it's coming slowly to me and I really have lost this touch of making a video, and I think over the period of time I will get into it. So the next question is, if I want to pursue my course in English, does the university ask for German language certificate? I believe no. And if yes, how do I get it without doing classes for the language? Much love. Much love, but I would say if you are pursuing a course in English, in my personal opinion and from my experience, you do not have to provide a German language certificate, but please be careful. It might depend on university and it might differ from university to university and some state rules. So whenever you're applying for a university and whatever course you have, be it English or German language, it's clear that if you are going to attend a course in German language, you have to provide a certificate of German proficiency. Of course, otherwise you will not understand the course. But even if it is in English, there are certain universities that demand a mandatory German certificate of at least A2 level. So I always recommend all the students, whenever you are applying, go through the requirements of the university and that particular course thoroughly and see what you need. If you want a German language certificate, you don't have to do the classes. You basically just have to take an exam from an institute which that particular university accepts. Goethe Institute is one institute where you can take the exam. If you don't want to attend classes, you can just go through the syllabus of A1, A2, or whichever course you have to take an exam for. And if you don't think that you are really able to do these classes on your own or go through the course on your own, then I would really recommend that you join any kind of language classes, either from university or private tutors or whatever, or even Goethe Institute itself. Get some help and then take the exam. Next. I'm pursuing my BTech degree in mining engineering and I want to do masters in German computer science. Is it possible? Well, it is possible. You just need to see that there is something called prerequisites. So whenever your application is being processed for masters, they see whether the bachelor's that you did, the course or the content that you studied in your bachelor's is suiting the content of the master's, or in easy words, the subjects you went through and took exam and passed, are these subjects framing the right basics for your master's? If they are, you can do right away your master's in any field. If there are some missing subjects like X, Y, Z, like automata, and some foundations of software engineering and stuff like that, and they see that you haven't done in your bachelor's, but for the master's course that you applied, you need these two subjects, they will still take your application. They might still accept you, but tell you to go through these lectures once you are in Germany and pursue them, and make sure that you pass them in the first year of your studies. And once you have passed these prerequisites, all the subjects you did not take in your bachelor's, you can then start studying your master's. So yes, it is still possible from a mechanical engineering field to switch to computer science field in master's. Moving from master's to PhD in Germany, what should we know? Well, there are lots of things that you need to know, but in short, in this video, I can tell you when you do your master's, or I should answer it in a way that when you study bachelor's, you are somewhere here. In master's, you go deeper into a specialization that you had before, or some specialization that relates to it. And in your PhD, you go even more deeper and more concrete. So whenever you are doing masters, one thing you should know is you should go for a PhD in a field that you really enjoy. Even if you enjoy it, PhD can be a pain in, you know what I mean. But if you enjoy it, the pain is more or less, you are able to handle it. If you're in a PhD field which you absolutely do not enjoy and you just took this field because it was the only offer available to you, then you might end up quitting your PhD, and this is not nice because it brings a lot of stress. And even though it's nothing to be disappointed, you get disappointed in yourself, and it takes a lot of time and effort and strength to get out of it. So one thing that you should know while moving from master's to a PhD is that the field you choose for a PhD should be your field. Second, next thing is job seeker visa documents requirements. Well, I checked a website for job seeker visa requirements, and there is a website for it. I can link it below on my video, and this website tells really clearly which documents you need if you are looking for a job in Germany and your category to apply for a visa as a job seeker visa. So you don't have to worry, just go onto the link that I have linked below in my video and you will find all your documents there. If in that particular website you are not able to understand something, or something slightly complicated, or there's a different term used, then you can just write me down below and I will try to reply you ASAP. Tips for self-learning German. There are a lot of tips that I can give you for self-learning German, but one of the main tips I believe helped me learn not only German but also English, and I see people around me when they're learning a foreign language, this tip helps you a lot. And this tip is talking to people who are speaking that language. So native speakers of German, if you are learning German language, talk to them in German, even though if you're scared that you will do grammatical mistakes, you do not know the proper word for a certain thing, or you will be laughed at. Basically, almost nobody laughs at you if you try to communicate in any language you're trying to learn. And if some tiny percent of people do, then we shouldn't really be bothering about them, okay? It's about your own development. It's about your own effort that you're putting in your life to improve yourself and refine your communication skills in a language that you never heard or learned before. So try to communicate as much as you can with the native speakers. Try to join the groups where people are talking in German, so that the more you listen, the more you understand, and the more your mind will be used to speaking that language. German pronunciation. Well, this is one thing that I would really like to make a video on, because I have seen people having a lot of issues with pronouncing certain words, which if you just put 2 to 3 hours into, you will be really easily understand which particular sets of words are sounding like this and which are sounding like that. And once you know them, you will almost never make a mistake. And as I think, or in my personal opinion, pronunciation is something that you should really go in the very beginning when you are learning a language. You should start with alphabets, then how do each alphabet sound, and how do different alphabets sound when they are put together. And this pronunciation, once it's done in the very beginning, you understand the language much more and you are able to have a better pronunciation of the language compared to if you just completely avoid this pronunciation and get into the grammar or sentence forming of the language. So I will be making soon a video on pronunciation, and I hope you are helped, or somewhere I'm able to help you with pronouncing German words or certain alphabets when they're put together. So this was the last question on my community page, and I see my video has already touched 16 minutes. I do not want to take much time. I will be posting my next video where I will be answering questions that some of you have asked me on my story when I posted one about Q&A video. I hope I could help you in some way. I'm glad that I could make a video and reach to you guys once again, and I wish you all a very healthy week, a very happy week, and stay home, stay safe. Don't worry, we will get out of this crisis. Be positive. Much love.